I spent 14 days on an island hopping tour in Greece with Rhodes Scholar, and it was an amazing journey. So, in an attempt to capture it all, I created this 4-part video series to share all the high-level details with you. In video 1 of this 4-part video series, I covered days 1 through 3 of my trip. In this video, video 2, I'm going to continue where I left off and begin with the morning of day 4 and finish up through day 7. I will cover our time in Mykonos, Mykonos Town, Delos, Paros, Parikia, Naoussa, Lefkes, and our trip to a Marble Quarry. In video 3, I'll cover days 8 through 11. And last, in video 4, I'll cover days 12 through 14. If you haven't yet watched video 1, be sure to visit the playlist in the description of this video. You don't want to miss it. Now, let's get started. As I stated in video 1 of this video series, day 4 began with us gathering in a hotel lobby at 6 a.m. We checked out of our hotel rooms, grabbed breakfast boxes, and walked a few feet to our charter bus. The breakfast boxes were mediocre at best. They included an apple, a juice box, a few breakfast cookies, and a sandwich with a thinly sliced piece of meat for those who opted for meat options. But the people who didn't eat the breakfast box didn't have to go hungry for long. We would soon learn there was a coffee shop and a restaurant on our ferry. After putting our suitcases on the bus, we took our seats and took a quick 15-minute drive from our hotel to the port of Paros to begin our approximately 6-hour ferry ride to Mykonos Islands. Permission to come aboard. The ferry wasn't bad at all. In fact, we had great accommodations. I thought we would be stuck sitting in between strangers and on hard seats, all corralled in one area, but Rhodes Scholar never ceases to amaze me. Instead of coach seats, which was a take whatever seat you see in the gallery areas of the ferry, we had comfortable air seats in our own secluded cabin. Most of the Rhodes Scholars eventually left the cabin though. They wanted to enjoy better views and take in fresh air, so they ended up seating in an area outside on the upper deck of the ferry. Along our route, we passed the 5th century BC Temple of Poseidon and later entered the world of Cyclades, where islands such as Kia, Kythnos, and Tinos emerged from the blue waters of the Aegean Sea. As I briefly stated, the ferry had plenty of amenities. There was a coffee shop, a separate restaurant, a gift shop, and even internet, though it wasn't really needed since I kept a 5G signal with my T-Mobile the entire time. But because my mobile signal was a bit spotty, I purchased a $7 internet voucher anyway. I ended up using the 6-hour ferry ride to finish a video edit. Then, about an hour before we were set to dock at Mykonos Island, my wife and I had a small pre-lunch on the ferry, since the breakfast boxes we had earlier in the day wasn't very satisfying. The ferry had got underway around 6:30 a.m. and eventually docked on the island of Mykonos around 1 p.m. After we docked, we grabbed our bags from the garage area, found our bus, and then took a short 10-minute drive to a local restaurant called Virgo for lunch. We had another traditional Greek meal, which I believe was just moussaka with pasta for lunch. I didn't enjoy this meal as much, so I didn't eat it at all and decided to just fill up on bread and olive oil. After lunch, the bus dropped us off at the hotel we will be staying at for the next 2 nights, a 5-star hotel called Mykonos Town. The view from the room was amazing. The hotel also had a very functional gym for people like me who enjoy working out on vacation. My only gripe about this hotel was it lacked some of the basic amenities I enjoyed, like free coffee. It provided self-service coffee cups in the room, but they were $2 per cup. It also had a sophisticated alcohol minibar, meaning if you took anything out of the minibar fridge, even if you just took a look at it, a mechanical device prevented you from placing it back, so you would end up being charged. But the hotel had a wonderful infinity pool, and some Rhodes Scholars were even given rooms that had outside hot tubs. Who got those rooms came down to the luck of the draw though. My wife and I didn't get one, but we did have a nice balcony. Anyway, later in the day we all gathered once again for a drive from the hotel to Mykonos Town. Once in Mykonos Town, we walked along the boardwalk and through the town for about a total of 2 hours. During our walk, we passed whitewashed buildings and learned about the town's historical significance. Afterwards, we all had dinner together at a local Greek restaurant before eventually heading back to the hotel for the night. The next morning, we all gathered in front of the hotel for a 9 a.m. departure for our ferry ride to Delos Island. Delos is a small island located in the center of the Aegean Sea and is one of the most important mythological, historical, and archaeological sites in all of Greece. It is considered the birthplace of Apollo and Artemis and was a holy sanctuary and cult center during ancient times. Because of its key position in the Aegean Sea, it was also a perfect reprieve for sailors, and it attracted many rich merchants interested in building their villas near the sanctuaries of their gods. The ferry ride from Mykonos to Delos was a short 30-minute ride. Once on the island, we walked around from about 10:30 a.m. until we had to depart at 1:30 p.m. During our time on the island, we explored the ruins of ancient Delos and learned more about the important commercial and religious crossroads in the eastern Mediterranean. Before departing the island, I broke off from the group and climbed to the highest peak of the island, Mount Kythnos. As legend has it, the Greek god Zeus watched the birth of his son Apollo from the summit of Mount Kythnos. The 370-foot climb took me about 15 minutes in total as I weaved through walking paths and carefully stepped over jagged rocks. I'm thinking I'd like to live this moment again, so I'm going to add a POV or point of view climb video to this YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe to this channel to know when I post it, if this is something you'll be interested in seeing. After our return ferry trip, our group ate lunch together at a local taverna and were then given free time to explore the small shopping and tourist town of Mykonos on our own. My wife and I decided to go back to the hotel room early, so we broke off from the group, found a taxi, which was actually pretty hard to do by the way, and then headed back. I did my Monday gym workout while my wife did some work in the room. Today, dinner was on our own, but after all the island walking, my climb up Mount Kythnos, and my afternoon workout, I was beat. I went back to the room and fell asleep around 5 p.m. and didn't wake up until 6 a.m. the next morning. However, other Rhodes Scholars enjoyed all the free time in Mykonos and even stayed out late next to the pool. On day 6, we were gifted with a late start before heading off on a ferry to the island of Paros. After placing our bags outside our hotel rooms around 10:30 a.m., we had a quick Greek lesson that taught us the Greek alphabet. Afterwards, we all gathered at our bus around 11:30 a.m. for a bus ride to Mykonos docks. Right around 12:45, our ferry pulled up to the dock, undocked, and started receiving guests. We all corralled as a herd onto the ferry, stored our bags, and made our way to our assigned seats. The ferry was a comfortable but quick 45-minute shuttle to Paros. It was remarkable how efficiently the ferry docked, got passengers on and off, undocked, and then continued to its next location. The entire process felt like it took less than 10 minutes. Seriously, it was simply amazing. After reaching Paros, we left our luggage with a porter and went directly to a local restaurant where we ate an amazing lunch. The bulk of the ingredients used were locally grown from the restaurant's own farmland. After lunch, We made it to our hotel, checked in, and had a few hours to settle before it was time for our next event, a 2-hour discovery walk through the town of Paros, which we began around 5:30 p.m. Similar to the walking tour of Mykonos, we passed whitewashed buildings, lots of stray cats, and many shops. Unlike Mykonos, however, the town was less populated. The vibe was a lot more relaxed, and the shops were lesser known, but quaint boutique shops. The highlight of our walk was the stop at the historic Holy Church of the Virgin Mary, where we learned all about its architectural structure and historical significance for the region. We ended the day with a late dinner at another local restaurant before finally returning to our hotel around 9 p.m. Day 7 was another relatively early start. After our hotel breakfast buffet, we gathered on a charter bus to once again set out to explore the island of Paros. Our first stop was a visit to a local marble quarry. Although the quarry is no longer actively used to extract marble, we learned about its historical significance and the way in which marble was extracted and used in the many places throughout the island. Our next stop was to the town of Lefkes, another town with a low-key vibe and small boutique shops. We were given a bit of free time to explore, so I used my time to have a double espresso coffee at a small shop while the rest of the Rhodes Scholars did a bit of shopping. Afterwards, we headed to a local restaurant for lunch and had an amazing Greek cooking class experience. Okay, well, everyone else enjoyed the cooking. I didn't feel like it, so I did some work on my computer. They, however, learned to prepare a Greek salad, moussaka, dolmades, zucchini pie, and the iconic and customary yogurt with honey dessert. While the meal was cooking, they even took a few minutes to learn and then perform a Greek dance. You would think the day stopped there, but our next stop was another exploration tour. This time we drove to and then explored the town of Naoussa, a town on the northern tip of the island. After a very long day, we finally made it back to our hotel around 4:30 p.m. We were given the rest of our evening off for free time to explore more of the island and to have dinner on our own. I used this time to work out at a local gym. Afterwards, my wife and I walked to a local laundromat to wash our previous 7 days worth of clothes. While our clothes were being washed and dried, we hung out at the coffee shop next door and worked on our laptops while also watching the sunset over the Paros harbor. And that's that. Days 4 through 7 of my 14-day island hopping Rhodes Scholar tour package in Greece. I hope it was informative. The next 2 videos will also be interesting, as there will be plenty more sites to see and explore. In fact, in the next video covering days 8 through 11, I'll be discussing our exploration of the island of Santorini, our formal Greek dinner and dancing, our exploration of Aphrodite, our infamous ferry ride to Heraklion, and much more, so stay tuned for that. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss it. And in the meantime, remember, go out and go travel. You have everywhere to go see.